Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real Sports Scope on this 7th day of January. Got a great show with you for tonight. Definitely going to talk about John Harbaugh getting fired or parting ways, whatever you want to call it, for the Baltimore Ravens. I thought it was a good thing, huge blessing in disguise, if you ask me. Got two great returning guests coming back to the program. Neighbor Roy and his brother Fred. Going to talk a little Steelers and Bears now. And of course, Roy, big Steelers fan. Got to talk about that dramatic win there, Sunday night win there over the Ravens. And of course, Fred is a big Bears fan. Going to talk about their playoff game coming up this weekend, Saturday night. That game as well. And more tonight. So stand by. We'll take our first and only break. I'll be back here momentarily and hit the ground running here on the Real Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to Sports, that is Sports with an S, another S, Scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. Now I am back, folks. Okay. So let's start from the top here. Probably the biggest story of the week. I mean, John Harbaugh fired after 18 years. And just like I said before the break, I thought it was the best for him and the Baltimore Ravens. Bill Walsh, folks. Bill Walsh. I know I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention again. I'm constantly getting new viewers to the program. Former 49ers coach, 3-time Super Bowl champion with the Joe Montana, Jerry Rice teams. Also founder of the West Coast Offense, said that teams or players, even the organization, people within the organization, but particularly players seem to tune a coach out after about 10 years. The message gets stale. Players get tired of hearing the same speeches and whatnot. You can kind of see that. Now, listen, you can see it with Mike Tomlin as well with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But, like I said here, John Harbaugh, 18 years with this Baltimore Ravens team here. This reminds me so much of, listen, Sky, 12 playoff appearances, 18 years, one Super Bowl win, many AFC championship games as well. But this reminds me a lot of, remember Andy Reid? Andy Reid got to the Super Bowl with so many NFC championship games. Did lose that Super Bowl with Donovan McNabb. Things seemed to have gotten a little stale there when McNabb got older with that Eagle team, and they moved off him. He goes to the Chiefs here, and it just seemed like a spark. I mean, not just Patrick Mahomes. Remember, he got to the playoffs there with Alex Smith, and then he found his quarterback there. Pat Mahomes, and the rest is history. Energized way up into his 60s now at this point. So, Bill Walsh says 10 years. That's just a round number. I know that guys like John Harbaugh, 18 years, and pretty much the same there with Mike Tomlin there as well. But it's a round number. But after that 10 years, things seem to kind of get a little stale there. You're going through a lot of the same players. You're hopefully on the same quarterback there. It's very intense. Myself, listen, you see any, I mean, there's some gray in there, but you see not a lot. But myself and, for example, Kevin Stefanski of the Cleveland Browns. That guy's got a lot of gray hair. He's a year younger than me, and that guy looks about 10 years older than me. In other words, this is a stressful sport. I thought it was good that Bill Belichick left New England. I think him and Kraft got tired of dealing with each other. It's 20 years. More power to you. But I just think that it really is. It really is a good move. Now, there were also reports that it really wasn't a direct firing from ownership there. And this was owner, and this owner guy, he's very low key. He's a good owner, probably one of the best in the entire NFL. But there were some reports there indicating that Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, that there was requests that for John Harbaugh to want to move on from the offensive coordinator. Listen, he'd been there 3 years. They got to the AFC Championship game with him a few years ago. Do you want to make the argument? Well, it was kind of a lame game plan against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs has had a great defense, and Lamar just couldn't make the throws. I mean, that particular game, he could not make the throws. Hey, he didn't make the next step. He won a playoff game. He got to they got the 1 seed. They got to the championship game, but he didn't do it, But listen, he got his second MVP there under Todd Monken. He also got an MVP. Like I said, there's 3 years removed from the other offensive coordinator. Now I'm trying to go over here. I got to go back to the next step on my notes here. On the other offensive coordinator, who's doing quite fine with, who's doing quite well with the with the LA Chargers right now. So I don't know if it was directly Lamar Jackson or indirectly that didn't want to work with Todd Monken. Maybe it's Lamar Jackson. Maybe he simply has to work. And he's gotten better. He made some big throws on Sunday night, particularly to Zay Flowers there and on busted coverage there. But I do think that he's still got to work on it. Even at 29 years old, you can always get better. You always want to be a student of the game and later up in your career. But I noticed Brady got better as he got older, like fine wine. But he needs to be more of a set passer, short passer, a quick out guy. Timing routes, stuff like that, more complex throws. He's gotten better, but he's got to make that next step here, throwing people open and whatnot, and just having a quicker release. That's on him. And we know that Lamar's got a $70 million cap hit next year. He's going to have to either re-sign or they're going to have to adjust some stuff or possibly trade the guy. So there's some big decisions they got to make. If they want to keep him, they want to make him happy and possibly adjust the team around him. That being said, Lamar's a double-edged sword for John Harbaugh. There was a lot of indication. I want to say John Harbaugh admitted this a while back, right around that 10-year, because Lamar's been there since, 2018. But right around that 10-year mark, things got stale with him again with Joe Flacco. And that there was a possibility that he was going to get fired. He said, he said, Lamar saved my job, because he brought the spark there that Flacco was not providing anymore 6 years after their 2012 run, which ultimately ended up in a Super Bowl victory. So, and there was also some indications that he had work ethic issues after he signed his second contract. We talked about the Baltimore Sun report that Lamar Jackson was falling asleep in meetings and everything, and he denies it. And of course, John Harbaugh denies it. There's something there. So, listen, John Harbaugh gets fired yesterday at around this time. I was sitting there working. Doing some Uber rides, and I read this between rides, and then like a second later I'm reading like multiple teams, even teams that have coaches are reaching out. There was what six opens or whatever, and there's other teams with coaches. And I'm thinking, yeah, probably what the Jets or the Dolphins, somebody like that, are reaching out to John Harbaugh's agent. I know right now that the Giants are really high on this guy right now, but we'll see. I mean, they're to force to show interest. Listen, they've got Jackson Dart. They got an offensive tackle. There's Andrew Thomas. They've got some key figures on that defensive line, per se. They've got a top 5 pick. That may be the top job for him. Bring a John Harbaugh in there to settle that team down. But nothing has been put in stone. I'm just saying that may very well be the top job, along with maybe a Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward here as the franchise guy. Now, I know he's going to possibly have to get surgery to put him back up to 6 months, but that would put him back, right around training camp, which would be fine. He won't be missing any games per se. But Tennessee, most salary cap in the league, I'm going to say $115 million. Roy, you calling me, brother, and I'm on the air. But anyways, got $115 million in cap room, and he's the number 5 pick overall. You got that. Plus, I think they got a decent offensive line there up in Tennessee. So, here in Tennessee, excuse me. Let me see what my man here is wanting to say. Let's see. I'll have to take a quick break and see what he wants here. Stand by, folks. I'll be back here momentarily. We'll hit the ground running. I just want to check to see my guest is giving me a call here. We'll go on break real quick. I'll be back momentarily.
I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp-Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler, on SportsScope, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern on National Streaming Sports. Thanks. I'm Mac, CEO of National Streaming Sports and host of the Mac and Jack Sports Show. You're watching the Sharp-Dressed Man and the Big Story Breaker, Robert Butler.
Hello, SportsScope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and SportsScope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's. Back on here. All right, sorry about that. Roy, I'm on the air. But anyways, so as far as that, Tennessee, I'd say a Tennessee, a New York Giants, maybe a Raiders. Listen, Raiders, kind of erratic owner there, kind of a shady defense there. I don't know if they keep Max Crosby. Maybe they trade him. They've got a lot of money too, like over $100 million as well. They do have Brock Bowers there. And Genty's a very good running back for him to work with. And potentially Fernando Mendoza as the number 1 pick. He could start over with a good, solid pick there at the quarterback position. And things look good when you got a seasoned quarterback like that coming in with the pro style, with the pro style type of offense there. So that would be great there. Those 3 right there. I think Tennessee be 2, Giants 1, and of course the Raiders 3. Any of these other jobs, some people mention Atlanta or something like that. Arizona's no way to take the Arizona job. Cleveland, of course. I mean, that would be interesting if it didn't take Cleveland and turn around and beat the Ravens with Cleveland. But as far as the Ravens are concerned, I think they need to be they need to have two solid running backs there. They need to go back to being a running team. I would bring in Clint Kubiak from Seattle. Ravens, one of the top jobs. Now they got some salary cap issues, but they're a well-run organization. Very good owner there. I would try to bring in, maybe interview a Clint Kubiak type, bring him in, bring some of that offense in from Seattle to Seattle offensive coordinator, somebody of that nature to work with Jackson there and see what you can get out of him, or maybe a Joe Brady or somebody. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of that's still up in the air, per se. All right. Now, other words, both parties going to be okay. The Eagles bounced back after they got rid of Andy Reid. They later got, was it Doug Peterson? And you know, they hit on some draft picks and went on, won the Super Bowl. And then they went later on and won another Super Bowl. The rest is history. Both parties going to be okay. This is going to be a win-win situation. All right. Now, top coaching candidates. Listen, I said I would mention this the other day. Obviously, John Harbaugh, listen, 180 wins to 113 losses there. I mean, winning record, 12 playoff appearances, 18 years in the league. We talked about the Super Bowl win. He's probably the top dog on the market, still hungry to go out there and prove himself as a head coach there. Would be the top dog. Now, Mike McCarthy there, you can make a very good argument for him. Forget about his, Green Bay record with an 8 division title, something like that. Also a Super Bowl title. But really, what really impressed me about him is that listen, Jerry Jones all over the place, playing owner. He is the owner, but, wanting to do the general manager thing way up in his late 60s, 70s. Of course, he's now 80 years old. It's really hard to maneuver around a strong personality who wants to dominate everything like a Jerry Jones per se. But the first road playoff win in 30 years back in 2022 from 1992. And I remember that 1992. That was the win over the 49ers there. So Mike McCarthy there, number 2. Like I said, folks, these are the top that has been talked about. According to Reporter, guys like Ian Rappaport with NFL Network, Adam Schefter, ESPN, the top reporters are saying these guys are having interest from organizations to get the interviews and whatnot. Okay, but these are the ones that I would rank that actually being mentioned, not the ones that, and I'll tell you the ones that I want to be the top, but these are the ones that are actually being mentioned, in my opinion. Harbaugh 1, McCarthy 2, both of them Super Bowl winners. Matt Nagy would be 3 of the Titans are supposed to interview him tomorrow. That's the offensive coordinator from Kansas City. And like I said, I wasn't in love when they said that this guy would be a candidate, him and Lou Ambrano. But if you go offense or defense, go offense. He did get to the playoffs a few times with Mitch Trubisky with the Bears. And listen, Trubisky's looked at it. He played pretty good the other day when he was a fill-in with the Buffalo Bills. But, he's considered to be a backup quarterback. He's not even considered to be a franchise quarterback, and he's okay with that. I think he sees himself as so the fact that he did that, yeah, I'd probably put Matt Nagy. This is not a super talented slate of candidates available, but of the ones that's being talked about and being listed as potential interviews, Nagy would be number 3. Now, number 4, got a lot of buzz going on about this guy. Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for the LA Chargers under his brother, Jim Harbaugh, John's brother, won a national championship as a coordinator there with Michigan, but also this Charger team, one of the better defenses in the league, 5th in total defense, 9th in points allowed, with older players and cap issues, guys like Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. I know Bosa's out off the team now, but last year they had to deal with that. These over the past 2 years since he's been there, they've been pretty solid defensively. And Mack is like mid-30s or something. Both of them at the back end of their career, but they've had cap issues. Not a lot of big star power players that they can put on their team, and they still have top 5 total defense, 9th in points allowed. Mentor looks pretty sharp. Kind of reminds me of Mike McDonald, who's doing pretty well up in Seattle. So, again, these are of the people mentioned. Guys that are not mentioned, okay? Brian Flores has not been mentioned. But Brian Flores, I'm even more impressed with what Brian Flores has been able to do with Minnesota, one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and no star power. Like I said, now we're getting to the candidates who I think, who have not been mentioned, should be in the top list of coaches to get a shot. Brian Flores, third overall with the Minnesota talent there, with players like, listen, I like Harrison Smith, but he is towards the end of his career. I know they had a draft pick that's playing pretty well, but other than that, they're pretty stripped down from the defensive standpoint, and they're playing really well. Now, I also mentioned John. I do think John Gruden is fiery right now. He's like a young 62, 63 years old. I think he can coach a 5-10 years. Listen, I'm right there with Bill Walsh. I think 10 years is fine. I do think that it's okay to move on after 10 years, or ask the coach, or does he want to move on after 10 years, no matter how well you're doing. I think you should really put that into some thought there. So, in other words, when you hire a guy in his 60s, and you think, well, we can't get this guy 25 years. Maybe you shouldn't have any coach for 25 years. Like I said before, I think it's gotten way stale with Mike Tomlin. You could really start to see deteriorate going back to the Ben Roethlisberger days. You could see, and I did make some notes here, there were just a few games with John Harbaugh. And much as I like Harbaugh, they've blown leads in the last 2 years, big leads. They've gotten beat by teams like with backup quarterbacks like the Colts and the Raiders, and they've had some moments there where it looks like the team is simply tuning out Coach Harbaugh. Now, there was one report that's saying that he had lost the team. I don't think so. They played well. They should have won Sunday. I mean, what's like a 40-yard field goal? They should have won that game Sunday per se. And but hey, listen. It just goes to show when you've just been there that long, things can really happen. So, like I said, guys like John Gruden should, and of course, listen, possibly, even he probably won't do it. He probably won't do it, but I would probably talk to or at least call the agent for Indiana's Curt Cignetti. I know it would be a big buyout. He just signed an extension with Indiana. But listen, this guy gets the best out of players. He's an older coach. He doesn't come off as an abrasive coach like a lot of the college coaches do. Someone like a Curt Cignetti. So listen, guys like Curt Cignetti, John Gruden, Brian Flores, who needs a second shot. I know Brian Flores and John Gruden are suing the league for different reasons there, but you just can't deny these guys are good coaches. I know Gruden, you said, well, he kind of things went south there in Tampa. He got fired there at the end. But if you look at that Raider team, he had them up and rolling. They made the playoffs that year. They made the playoffs that year that he was basically told to step down or whatever after the ridiculous email thing that didn't have nothing to do with him initially. I think that's a bunch of nonsense. So, like I said, I would lean heavily on the offensive side, not unless you had and listen, a Brian the Ball matched up with a Flores as the head coach, or or Brian the Ball, say if Sean McDermott loses Sunday to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a Buffalo, if that one, the number 8 come open, which it could, you never know, do a Brian the Ball with Bill Belichick. And I mentioned that a while back, even and try to be aggressive and go down there and see if you can throw enough money in Bill Belichick's face, see if he can come up to Buffalo for a few years and win a Super Bowl. Again, let's not hire these guys for 25. It's just too stressful of a job. And you're asking guys to play through a lot of pain, broken bones, broken ribs, punctured lungs. TJ Watts came back from a punctured lung, and he said that he got that punctured lung. I heard it Sunday on the telecast there that it was from a doctor. A doctor gave him that punctured lung, getting a procedure done, kind of like Tyrod Taylor did a few years ago. There was an accident, but I think he sued the doctor or the team or whatever. The team doctor with the LA Chargers, he had a punctured lung or something similar situation where getting some kind of shot towards the chest area, and then Justin Herbert had to come in. Well, he played really well when he did come in, and he hasn't turned that starting job over yet. He's still rolling. But if you're watching Roy, if you guys want to come on in now, I'm pretty much done with those 2 segments. Roy and Fred, you guys want to come in the studio, come on in. We'll go ahead and get this show started. And, we got about 4 minutes. Either way, as far as these jobs are concerned, this is what I would look for. Stability in the organization. Yeah, probably because of the organization, the Ravens still a good job. Probably the top job. You got to look at what they're trying to get stabilized here in Tennessee with the owners. She made a statement the other day that she wants to step even farther away and not be so hands-on. Talks cheap. Let's see how this plays out. And she's wanting to have structure within the organization, a specific chain of command, and stuff like that. She's wanting to have that done. That's good with all their money. That's one of the better jobs as well. I keep hearing Tom Brady's hand is in the Raiders. Is going to influence the Raiders. Well, let's see how Tom Brady's hand influences the Raiders. Okay, if that is true. If he's going to have a more hand in things to say, since he's part owner, that would be considered one of the better jobs because they've got a lot of money as well, and they've got that 1 pick. And it feels like, as of right now, this could change. But then Mendoza feels like a can't miss to me. He really feels like a can't miss. There's some comparisons. Maybe he's like an Andrew Luck. Maybe not quite that high grade. Andrew Luck was pretty close to a John Elway type of draft grade or something like that. But and I think that he would work well with Brady. I'm sure Brady would work with him. So there's my man Roy, and I'll get him coming on here. Hopefully Fred has came on, but I'll go ahead and bring Roy in. Hey, Roy. I can hear you, brother. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good to go here. I wanted you to tell the audience, man, about your experience with this game Sunday night. I told the audience earlier this week when I did I recorded a show on Monday. That's the first Sunday night game all year that I watched the whole thing because it was so dramatic, so up, so down that I knew I was going to be tired because it's hard to come down off that adrenaline and watching those kinds of intense games. It was up to like 4:30. But I thought it was the best game, probably one of the best games of the entire season with so much on the line there. But tell me the story you told me. Tell the audience the story you told me about how you approached Steelers-Ravens for the division. It's funny because a lot of us do that.
Yeah. Oh man. So it was coming up where I found out they was playing the Ravens again. I was like, oh, but I know they both hungry for each other for a win. And it was so tense for me to win, for them to win this game. I was so twisted and nervous on the inside. I didn't want to watch the game. So I told myself I can't go to bed disappointed and I can go to bed happy, but I didn't want to take the chance. So I had to sleep it off. And I woke up and checked the phone, and the victory is how I slept on it to like, please give me a win. And they pulled it off, and I'm proud of the team.
Did you go back and watch highlights of it?
Early in the morning, and I saw that they won, and I was still biting fingernails off.
Yeah.
Because watching the game, it was so intense. They was going back and forth, left and right and left, uppercuts, overhands. They was running the ball. Everybody was getting down, man. They was hungry.
Yeah. They were a pretty hungry team there. It was really dramatic, man. I mean, Mike Tirico from NBC that called the game, he said this at the end of the game, since they did miss that. Hold on, folks. We got Fred in the house. Fred, I was just telling Roy that Mike Tirico, and they replayed this later, that he said that some father or whatever, Catholic father, he was sprinkling some kind of holy water around the goalposts there that helped the Steelers there win the game there at the end. Kind of made a joke about that. And I said, well, wait a minute, because the holy water before that helped the Baltimore Ravens get the edge because the Steelers missed the extra point.
Yeah.
You
know what I heard? What I heard today in Chicago?
Go ahead,
is on both goalposts, it was the Steelers and the Ravens. So whoever was going, that's who coach was going to get fired. That's who coach is going to get fired. So Steelers, y'all might not know. Tomlin might just save himself just another week. I don't know.
That is true. That is true. And that was, that's my next question. Fred, you could take this. Was it justified for John Harbaugh to get fired? What's your thought on that? And then I'll tell you my quick thoughts because I know you guys wasn't on the air yet, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 18 years, I understand being somewhere for a while. You think about Greg Popovich, the folks who've been around in systems for such a long time. Greg Popovich, folks like, Tomlin, just like, John, people in the city, because they always get it mixed up with Jim Harbaugh. So, he a former Bear. So, I think they moved on them quick, which means that they probably already had this in place mid-season. I think they moved on way too quick. They could have waited to the end of the playoffs and Super Bowl out of respect for him and what he's done for that franchise. So that tells me that something they knew that this was going to be the last hurrah, like the last dance with the Bulls. Like internally, that tells me that. Now, externally, we may not know. We're saying, like, they did it wrong. But this was probably the writing was on the wall probably for a little while.
Roy, was that justified, Roy, firing John Harbaugh after this, and not just this loss or maybe the season, the last few seasons?
Well, for the team being so competitive like that, he still kept spunking them. Things happened. It was probably a bad decision I don't know if that was the only kicker, but a rookie kicker at a time like this, we'll pat him on the back on the side, but not after the mistake, So put the rookie kicker in, let that happen, and let him know these pressures are something you can look forward to in the near future. But we need to go to the playoffs. They should have put a veteran kicker in. That was, I don't know whose decision, but it kind of, I don't like Fred. I don't really know.
Yeah.
As a coach, if I was coaching them, I wouldn't have put the rookie kicker in under such pressure.
Right. Well, Justin Tucker got into some issue and off the field, then they had to draft the kicker. But Tucker probably nails that kick, though. But anyways, I was telling the folks off before you guys got on the air that Bill Walsh, 49ers, former 49ers head coach, founder of the West Coast offense, 80s, 3 Super Bowls. He said after 10 years, every coach should leave the team because players start to tune you out after. Now, that's just a round number, but he left from 79 to 89, got them 3 rings, and got out of San Francisco.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. He said also the management, you start to butt heads with management. That there was reports that Harbaugh, I don't know if it was ownership or management, they wanted Harbaugh to fire Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator. Maybe there's some issues with him and Lamar Jackson. Well, the guy's been there 3 years. They already fired the other offensive coordinator 3 years ago. This guy wins an MVP with him. So I think it kind of feels like an Andy Reid situation where he had some success with the Eagles. But, they fired him. Eagles going to win Super Bowls. He goes on to win Super Bowls. They both needed a change of scenery. What do you guys think about that tape? Roy or Fred, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Roy.
Yeah, you went there with it. I'm not so sure. I kind of
the change
for
of
not
scenery.
watching the game from not watching the game with the Steelers. I'm so concentrated on what's going on in that era. These situations, these people, it's a hard job. Everybody got a hard job.
Yeah.
Sometimes the buck works for you, and sometimes it don't. So
some days you get the bear, some days the bear gets you. You wanted to say that, didn't you?
Yeah. Hey, I was gonna say the same thing. Hey, before we go any further, bro, Roy, you over that basket in the glory, bro, with the sunshades on, man. You basking in the glory for Pittsburgh.
He's looking like Ice Cube out there.
Yeah.
I was trying to get you to MT to Mike Tomlin, So
yeah, Tomlin hitting his hands on his chest. I saw that after the game.
Yeah, on the team, because everybody was getting fired, So
yeah, I think in terms of the John Wall thing, it really depends on like I told Roy, like I ain't throwing on I don't have a lot of tires, so I got on my GM quarter zip.
Yeah.
I got on my GM quarter zip. I'm in GM mode. So
yes.
I think, in terms of Walsh and as it relates to Harbaugh, it's different when depending on the ownership group, right? If it's a fan like the Bears, it's a family ownership group, so you don't have to go through these different leadership regimes, right? In terms of ownership and who they put in at. Like you have your relationship with the family and the ownership group itself, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So John Walsh in San Francisco, 10 years, but like I just said, we've known people that be in these positions. If you think about Belichick, more than it's one owner. This is my team. I'm rocking with Belichick. I don't care who comes through here, GM wise, president wise, personnel, all of these things. Like I'm rocking with Belichick. So yes, after 10 years, I hear that. But depending on your relationship with the ownership group or the owners or the family, those some things you're not do by. So you can withstand something that a normal coach who would come in who don't have those relationships, right? Yeah. So that's just kind of how I see it. I don't know if Harbaugh has that with. I would want to learn more about what is the ownership situation in Baltimore.
Yeah. That's true. So
let me say this, Robert. You get started with the coach. They was giving the ball to Henry all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know about that coaching. Like, it's football where don't run down the main guy. Sometimes we can start seeing like they just running plays with the repeat players. And it'll take a toll when other players learn how to start hitting them and stuff like that. So I was watching him play. They was kind of like running same plays. It wasn't nothing new. I don't think it wasn't nothing being created different. Everybody they'll learn the Baltimore Ravens because they're not changing certain things, you know. So we know where they're going. We're going to Derek. We're going to this. And the coach, I think, like reality was good, but you know, we can't keep almost getting there. You know, we got to get there. So sometimes you might, hey, give me the ball, man. You can, you know. So that's my. It had to come to me a little later, but that's my take on that.
I just think, yeah, both parties can use a new flavor. I think maybe they look at Clint Kubiak, he's the offensive coordinator for Seattle. Maybe get a better running game than they got, more of a zone blocking running, kind of like what Cal Shanahan does. Clint Kubiak's dad was Gary Kubiak, who coached that. He was the offensive coordinator for the 97-98 Denver Broncos. So that zone blocking running scheme, something like that, bringing another back. You know, he's getting long in the tooth. Derrick Henry is.
Yeah.
Something like that, man. And it'll work out because they're a very good organization. They're really well run, the Ravens. And John Harbaugh, they said that I was reading that there's more teams looking for him as a coach than actually had coaching positions open. There's like 6 other positions, and there's like 10 calls there. I'm sure the Jets and the Miami Dolphins, they probably called. I mean, he'll be all right. He'll land on his feet.
Yeah, different chemistries of coaches and teams. It's like the coach for the Titans. Look what he's doing over there in New England.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel. You know, I mean,
he's doing great over there.
Absolutely, man.
Chemistry, the coach, the team, something the team can't get the way the coach teach. It's something. It works better in other places. So, you know, it's not. Now I'm looking at this. Not a bad guy that I thought. You know.
Yeah, with right coordinator, right coach, right quarterback, and together, guys. So, Fred, I was wanting to ask you about your Bears, man. Great season there for them. A little bit of a 2-game. Are you a little concerned about that 2-game losing streak coming into the playoffs, though? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yes. You know, obviously we were, doing really well, and both of those games were very close. Especially, I love the San Francisco game because
that was great.
The Bears showed up out the gate, man. Edwards with the tip off the rope, boom, out the gate in San Francisco, man. We on the road. They like, the Bears ain't gonna. So we went blow for blow with them. We just couldn't stop nothing, man. We couldn't stop a lady getting off the bus with a wheelchair. Like we couldn't stop.
That's true, man.
We couldn't stop nothing. But it was the first game outside of the Dallas game, I think, earlier this year that we won convincingly.
Yeah.
That they was ready to rock. Like Caleb ready. You understand? He was ready.
Yeah.
So man, you just had a dud like against the damn Detroit. You know, so the Detroit the only team we lost to twice this year. Yeah, and it's Ben Johnson's former team, and we were at home. So I think the Bears, I think they let their foot off the gas, really think if we got a playoff position. We're going to be seated somewhere. You know, we're confirmed and all of that stuff. And I think, honestly, he was just looking for it. Hey, man, bring the Packers on, man. Just like DJ said, man.
It's like bring them,
Come on. And I don't like that they because we could have got that number 1 seed over Seattle.
Yeah.
We could have had a bye week, and so I know the odds is against us, but so it's a little let down. But I'm taking it as like, hey, they just like whatever. Caleb always said, look, man, we play all however many minutes. How many minutes is it? 15.
15.
15. What, 60 minutes?
Yeah, 70. 75 minutes if you add a full overtime quarter.
They're gonna play. They're gonna play the 57 and turn up in the last 3 minutes. You understand? So
what is your thoughts about that other Green Bay game going back a few weeks? December 21st, that's Saturday. Huge game there. Come back and win it. What's going through your mind as you're watching this game unfold there? Bears down most of that game. Malik Willis filled in quite well.
Yeah, he did.
How did that game play out for you, man? What was your emotions?
I'm gonna walk you through it. I'll try to do this very briefly.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I'm gonna walk you through it. Look, I was in the garage. My man cave is in the garage. It's cold outside. I'm always
Yeah.
I got a little space heater back there, so I'm in the garage watching the game. I got my wife. She is in tune. The Bears. What's the score and all this? She ain't know football. She's a Bears fan because we love the Bears. My son watching in his room, so we all have 3 rooms, and I'm just like, man, these damn Bears, man.
Right.
But when they did that drive to go down and score right before they did the onside kick, I said we own to something. So I seen the onside kick. I run out the garage. I'm right after that, I go back to the garage. Boom. Everybody go back to their cubby homes, and they just watching. End of the 4th quarter, it's 4th down and 4. I'm like, man, shit. What happened?
Right. Yeah.
The 3rd and 4, he threw a long one through the uprights. Then it was supposed to go to Coast.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was good if it was a field goal.
I'm like, man, 4th and 4. I said, this is all, man. Hey, this the Packers. This is what we do. Fuck it. Let's just whatever. Man, he hit that man in the corner. I thought it was going out of bounds.
Yeah, that's exactly how I thought your reaction.
And look, I can't run in the house again. By this time, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh, damn. And then overtime, when I seen that they elected the kick, I said, the Bears, boy, they macho chamismo right now. They like, go ahead.
Yep.
And then they fumbled the ball. Like, so it's like all of these things happen. And I just knew we were going to win the game at that point. I didn't know how it was going to happen.
Feel the momentum swing, right?
Yeah. And I think I think it was Swift ran for a first down leading up to that final bomb with DJ Moore. And when that bomb hit, that's a rush, isn't it? That's a hit. I haven't felt nothing like that since Michael Jordan hitting it on over Russell. You know what I mean?
1998, baby.
The city went up. The city went up.
It was worth watching that game. Yeah.
So sorry, that's long story long.
No, I love it. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You know, Roy, you called me that night, and I'll tell the audience this too. I'm sitting in bed.
That's what we got on in the back. That's what we got on.
Yeah, I see it. I love it.
You see that, right? Yeah, that's what we got.
This is an interesting story, Roy, Fred, about that particular game, because we picked, myself and Matt New Yorker, we picked the games on Thursday. The biggest game, that was one of them. And I picked the Bears, and I was, man, I don't want to be let down now. I picked the Bears this week. But long story short, I'm in the ER, and I have an ulcer issue. I figured out I had an ulcer issue. Public service for everybody. Watch what you take as far as like aspirin, ibuprofen. If you got allergies and sinus problems, you got to be careful with taking that stuff and cause an ulcer. So I'm laying up in the hospital bed with the ER, and I'm watching, but I found the game. I'm watching the game. And, this ulcer's bothering me. I'm like, yeah, come on, Bears, man, that's a heck of a play. And I forgot, my phone was on silent. Totally forgot about it. And I saw that Roy called, but I didn't see it till much later. I started to call you like midnight or something. I thought, he might have went to bed, man. It's getting late on Saturday night. But that was a heck of a finish there. And a night I was feeling like crap. That kind of put me on like that play. I love that energy, that there's so many offensive playmakers for the Bears. You guys got to be on cloud nine. Colston Loveland's really emerged. I'm thinking he's really got to be – the city's got to be vibing for the Bears right now.
Oh, they are. There's a lot of belief in them, too. You know that number 2, I don't know his name. What's his name?
DJ
Who caught that?
DJ Moore.
That number 2, he's always open, but I think they was overlooking him a lot.
Yeah.
I love DJ Moore.
Yeah, man.
And then now with that catch, I think they're going to look to him more often than they used to. Because he took him everything he had to hold on to that ball.
Yeah. And it was cold in the city, and that was a night game right off the lake. So, but you would think that, Roy, the last game in Detroit, guess how many catches he had?
How many?
1. For which is crazy.
He be open, but they just be overlooked. I don't know what that's about, but that guy.
Yeah. So
good.
We got about 10 minutes to go, guys. Fred, are you a little worried, though? It took all that to beat Green Bay. Now, Green Bay's got some players coming back this week.
Yeah.
Probably have Jordan Love, rested Jacobs there, running back. they're going to have a lot. They looks like they may be refreshed and ready to go. What do you think is going to happen Saturday night in that Bears game? I got a feeling they might get beat. They might have to bring their A game to beat this Packer team, even though I know they're not going to have Micah, but they still might have everybody else back. What's your thoughts about that game? How's that going to play out, man?
Hey, look, I can only play the audio for you. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Bears win.
It's that bear down music right here.
Oh, okay.
Step in the cage, all you pray you don't get in my way. I'm not catching your heart and digging your grave. Checking
All right.
Okay.
That just tell you how we feeling. We're gonna bear down. That's one. Two,
Yeah.
The Bears we're gonna probably get Roma Doomsday back, right? Our number one receiver.
Nice, because you had that foot problem for a minute.
They got some injuries. We got some injuries. We got the home field advantage, which I think is going to help and work for us.
Okay.
It's a night game. It's on a Saturday, so it's a little unregimented from what they're accustomed to, both teams. But I think the advantage goes to Ben Johnson in this game. And I told Roy this earlier in the week. I got the Bears. Try not to be emotional about it, but I got the Bears winning by 2 scores.
Wow.
2
What's the score?
Yeah, so my official
24-14, something like that. You said.
Yeah, I got it. I did a little bit more. I say 23-10. I mean
23.
23-10.
And I looked at that, Fred. If that's true.
23-13. 23-13.
That's your final score?
23-13.
That's your final? Like, who wants to be a millionaire? Is that your final answer, Fred?
Yeah, that is 23-13. That's what I got.
Okay, Roy, we got a huge game with Houston and Pittsburgh coming up on Monday night. You know, Colin Cowherd, I got to give him credit. He did say, listen, Tomlin gets these guys up for these Monday night games. And the fact that you've got that good defensive line there.
Oh, yeah.
What? You know, there may be some momentum, and you're going to have DK Metcalf back with 2 games off. You know, right now I'm thinking Houston all the way. Houston #1 defense in the league, #1 points allowed. But he did make a good point about this. His game will be played in Pittsburgh, and you got that holy water going up there. What's your thoughts about the game Monday night, Roy? You not going to watch it? You're superstitious like me sometimes.
I'm gonna watch this one. It's like a prime time in Pittsburgh, you know. Talk about Monday Night Football. We won 23 straight home wins.
Yeah. On Monday night, right? Yeah.
At our stadium. And the energy is different. You know, the pressure is real. All that matters. And we got a young quarterback coming to our environment that don't do well in the cold. Okay. And then we got Hayward, we got Highsmith, we got Keanu Benton. Well, they've been eating and getting at the quarterback, you know, at the quarterback and stuff. So it's gonna be kind of cold there. What's this guy's name? Their quarterback for Houston.
Stroud.
Yeah, Stroud. He don't have major big throws, but he can make some passes, but they don't be like, you know, a bomb UF, you know, first goal. But they can chop up some yards on you. You got to watch them. Their running game ain't too good. We got that on lock, and we got people out in the deep field that's kind of pretty cool. We got to play clean and not so many penalties, and I think we got them.
What's the score going to be, Roy?
I'm going to have to go with, I'm thinking 28.
To what?
17.
28. Man, that's a big win. That's turnover action there.
Yeah. I think that's what
that secondary, man. They gave up 2 bombs to Zay. Nico, you gotta keep your eye on him. He's going to be there for Houston. He's a player, man. You know?
So they the whole situation with that, they slipped up a few times. Somebody missed some assignments. I'm quite sure they worked on that. Like, y'all can't miss those assignments. We barely made it. You know what I'm saying? We got Metcalf back. Hayward is keeping it. All our linemen is doing their part. You know, DJ Watt back. You know, he first guy got an interception. I think we'll be all over them. I think it's gonna be pretty good. But if we pressure Strauss, he's gonna get kind of panicky, throw some interceptions, and some mistakes and stuff will be made.
Well, I'll tell you what, they got a shot, man. They got more of a shot than I thought. When you read that Monday Night Football stat up in Pittsburgh, and quite frankly, just between us three, they get away with some bush league stuff up there too, man. I mobbed the quarterback from Cleveland on Monday night one time.
Man,
Deshaun Watson, they mobbed him a few years and they didn't get called. But hey, man, that's the way it is. You've earned it. You know, whether you want to call it luck or not.
Different. Our roster is still differently. You know, give it credit for what it is. You know, it's not the perfect team, but it's a Steelers team. So, you know, roster got grit and depth to it. You know, passing game when it mattered. You know, a lot of people stepping up. The run game stepped up. People making passes. There's a lot of energy going on in this game, you know. So,
well, they held Lamar Jackson from running. They're good. They had some speed inside. I got to give them credit there. I thought Lamar with 2 weeks off that he would probably run more, but they had him in check, man. They kept him in a bubble there. So, well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited for you. I hope it works out. I'll give my prediction tomorrow. I like to see that.
I was about to ask you, brother Butler, Howard, Cosell. I was about to ask you for your
Fred, you have to watch tomorrow, brother. Fred,
all right, well then, can you give me this? You remember your boy John Gruden? You was talking to us about John Gruden. I call him Chucky. Remember I said I had to Chucky?
How's Chucky doing?
This is official, bro. This is John Gruden. This I know you talking about. Can he get another role? There go John Gruden.
Let me give you my final word. This game isn't about style and points. It's about toughness, preparation, and execution, brother. Yeah. If the Steelers play Steelers football, this game gonna be a win. Talk to you next time.
I'll tell you what. I'm leaning totally opposite of where you guys are going, but I studied the injury report. You know, but the Bears got a good shot. If Rome Odunze's back, that's huge for the Bears, Fred. Yeah. That is huge.
Yes,
another side. You know, the Packers signed Trayvon Diggs. That's how short they are at corner, the former Dallas Cowboy who got cut. So
and Jacobs banged up too. Yeah. Jacobs banged up too.
Yeah, Jacobs banged up, but he's got them rested legs, and that's good for a running back. And if Love is 100%, I mean, Love was. I could see him coming in there fresh, playing well.
Yeah. And
Bears, like you said, they really got to kind of play Simon football defensively too, and not give up them big plays.
Yeah.
You know,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, my dad's all ticked off. It's gonna be on Prime. I may have to get him to come over and watch it with me.
These streaming services, man. We got to go and do your homework on these streaming services with professional sports, bro. They've been on this path for quite some time. I don't think it's turning back anytime.
It's not, yeah. So I hope you got Amazon Prime, Roy.
Yeah, I believe I do. Yes. And the Bears, they cut down on the celebrations, stay real focused. I think they can get past this. Just stay without, just limit the celebrations and stay focused.
It's going to be a great game. Both of these games will be really good, really tight. I love playoff football, guys. Let me give a round of applause for Fred and Roy. Thanks again, guys. And I'm gonna send you guys a copy of this when I get a chance. We'll just our interviews and hey, listen, I'm gonna listen to this, and if your scores are right, we'll clip it and I'll replay it as well. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, folks. I'll be back here tomorrow with the Mad New Yorker. And like I said, I'll be giving my prediction. I'll be giving my prediction on this as well here on the Real Sports Scope. If you like the show, share the show. Thank you, everybody. Looks like we got a good audience. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place here on the Real.